All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the first ever Baker Hughes virtual information session. I will be your main presenter. My name is Chisholm Agata. I'll go into a brief introduction about myself shortly, but I just wanted to touch on what the purpose of this virtual information session is. As you all can see at the very bottom, it says become a part of the bigger picture, and that's the theme that we're going with here. It's how do each of you as recent grads and potential interns fit into the oil and gas industry, and how do you fit into Baker Hughes more specifically. So throughout this presentation, we'll be talking about the history of the company, the different product service lines of our company, as well as the opportunities that we have for recent graduates and internships within the company. I have two other recruiters with me that they'll introduce themselves as we get to the next slide, but they'll be here to answer any questions and also talk about the positions that they're responsible for as well. So like I said, my name is Chisholm Agata. I've been with Baker Hughes for about 3.5 years now. My background is in mechanical engineering. That's what I studied in school, and I originally started working in this company as an R&D design engineer. A year ago, I switched into the HR group, and now I'm one of the lead recruiters for the technology and engineering students. So that's engineering, non-field related, but more on the R&D scientist and technologist side of things. We'll go to my next recruiter.
So my name is Patrick Brown. I've been with Baker for 2 years. I have a master's in industrial organizational psychology, and I'm responsible for the supply chain, corporate, and IT positions at Baker Hughes.
And my name is Josh Barnold. I have a bachelor's in science and human resource development from Texas A&M. I graduated 2 years ago from that university. Prior to that, I did have 3 internships with Baker Hughes, so I'm well informed of that program itself. My main responsibilities now include the internship program as well as the operations recruiting.
So there's a little bit about us. Throughout the webinar, you all have the opportunity to type out questions to us. Feel free to address questions to either myself, Patrick, or Josh specifically, and we'll try to answer those the best we can at the end of this presentation. So real quick, we'll jump into history of Baker Hughes. First of all, what is Baker Hughes? Who are we? Baker Hughes is an oil field service company. This basically means that we don't own the land that's drilled on, nor do we own the oil that's produced from the land. Instead, how we get our work is we're contracted by operators, national oil companies, and multinational oil companies. We provide a depth and large number of services and resources to them in order to help them better understand the formation and reservoir that they're drilling into, and also to provide the tools and expertise necessary to drill, complete, and produce from the well. So Baker Hughes started from very humble beginnings. It was not always Baker Hughes. In 1907, R.C. Baker invented the casing shoe. The casing shoe allows or enables drillers to efficiently run casing and cement in oil wells. This innovation helped launch the businesses that would become Baker Oil Tools and eventually Baker Hughes Incorporated. In 1908, Howard Hughes Sr. developed the first 2-cone drill bit. This was designed to enable rotary drilling in harder, deeper formations than was originally possible at that time. And again, this innovation was able to launch Hughes Tool Company and revolutionize the drilling industry. Now we'll jump to 1987, where Baker Hughes formed via the merger of Baker International and Hughes Tool Company. But between 1908 and 1987, obviously, things were going on. There were major acquisitions taking place on Baker International and Hughes Tool Company's side, which allowed Baker Hughes to have the strong product portfolio that it has now. And most recently, in 2010, Baker Hughes acquired BJ Services. We acquired them for their pressure pumping capabilities, which was something that was missing in our product portfolio, and allowing us, now that we have pressure pumping, we're able to better compete with our main competitors. And I didn't add any of this, but more recently, we're carrying on that tradition of innovation in areas like nanotechnology, materials science, R&D research, and in our operations and wireline tools as well. So a lot of you and honestly what I tell everyone is that it stems from the core values of this company. So our 4 company core values are integrity, teamwork, learning, and performance. These are, all 4 of these attributes are things that each of you need to have if you want a successful long-term career within Baker Hughes. Integrity, obviously one of the most important things, and this is your moral compass. This is, are you able to make the correct and right decisions? Are you able to work in an environment and not only influence that environment properly, but also make decisions that won't hurt the company in the long run, won't hurt the company in the short run, and won't negatively impact the business that we already have. On the teamwork side, teamwork is essential to, this allows you to leverage the experiences, the knowledge, and individual skill sets of the people around you. This will allow you to lend a helping hand to other people when they need it, and also allow you to solicit help of others when you need it, because you're definitely going to run into projects and situations in our company where you won't know the best way forward. You won't know how to, run that tool properly or to design the best tool, but using the people around you and using their vast amount of information and knowledge, you're able to better tackle the tasks that are ahead of you. Third, we have learning. Oil and gas is a very complex industry, and Baker Hughes, with all the different product service lines we have in our company, make it one that you could work here your entire career and not even begin to scratch the surface of how much of the different tools that we and services that we offer. So we want people who have a spirit of always wanting to learn. Always wanting to learn is going to be what pushes your career to the next level. So your desire to take on new risks, new challenges, to learn about the new innovations coming out of the company. This is really what's going to set you ahead and set you apart from those from your peers and people around you. And ultimately, we have performance. Performance is what the company is judged by on Wall Street. Performance is what us as employees are, what we're judged by our managers. The company places a significant amount of investment into each of you when you walk into the door. So your performance is how you repay that faith that we've placed into you. So these 4 core values, integrity, teamwork, learning, and performance, they're fundamental to the company. They're fundamental to how the company started. And these are 4 values that you'll see in every employee in this company as well. So these are things that each of you need to have in order to be viable and amazing employees in our company. So now just a quick BHI snapshot. This is just some quick facts for you all. In 2012, we had record revenues of just over $21 billion. We're currently on track to meet that and exceed that for 2013. So this is an amazing year for us. On the research and technology side, we invest upwards of almost $500 million a year into our R&D teams. This allows us to continue that spirit of innovation and continue delivering best-in-class tools to our customers. Now, we truly are a global company. We have over 58,000 employees around the world in 80+ countries. So for those of you in the audience who have aspirations and ambitions to go overseas, to see the world, to learn a new language, and to just put those skills to the test while you're working, Baker Hughes is definitely a great place for you to do that. The opportunities are always available to you. It's just dependent on how much you want that and how hard you're willing to work to get those opportunities. And then, like I said, we have 28 or over 28 product service lines now. So, like I said, we have 28 product service lines, but these are the main 6 that we have within our company, and these encompass most of our product portfolio. This is our completions and productions, drilling and evaluation, pressure pumping, reservoir development services, enterprise research group, and lastly, our supply chain organization. Now, on the completions and production side, our main business drivers here are basically to maximize our productivity, to increase our oil recovery factors of the reservoirs that we're and wells that we're completing, We also want to increase reliability of our tools because obviously higher reliability means happier customers. And then as a company that's always looking at how we can minimize our environmental footprint, we're also looking at how we can minimize our HS&E impact. So how do we design our tools to be safer for the environment? How do we just leverage our expertise and not affect the world that's around us, basically? And then lastly, we want to reduce our non-productive time. For those of you that know, when work is being done at a rig, anytime that there's downtime, it's costing the company money. So we obviously want to reduce as much non-productive time as possible. Now in our completions and productions group, there's a vast number of product lines. I've listed just a few on here, but they span from our artificial lift to completions groups to intelligent production systems, wellbore intervention and construction tools. But all these, basically all these tools are here in order for us to complete the well and produce the well for our customers. Next, we'll go into our drilling evaluation side. Now, Baker Hughes offers industry-leading drill bits, directional drilling systems, drilling fluids, and measurement while drilling services, and these all come from our drilling and evaluation group. Our drill bits are best in class, and we supply tricone and diamond drill bits. We're also at the forefront of innovation, having created the first hybrid PDC and tricone drill bit, which we call the Chimera, and we've actually run that in several operations now, and that's proven to be very successful. With our tight integration of mechanical and electrical systems, we're also able to better define certain characteristics of the reservoirs for our customers during or after the drilling process, and this has allowed us to also deliver best-in-class equipment, services, and support to our customers. Now from pressure pumping, if you guys remember, this is what I said that we acquired through the acquisition of BJ Services. We're able to cement our wells better, which is cementing as part of the completions process. We offer coiled tubing, which is used for interventions in oil and gas wells, and sometimes production tubing in depleted gas wells. The main benefits of coiled tubing over wireline and certain other traditional ways of running tools down is that it allows us to pump chemicals through the coil and to push into the hole rather than relying on gravity. Next, we have fracturing or hydraulic fracturing, and this is a technique where water is mixed with sand and chemicals, and it's injected at a high pressure into the wellbore to create small fractures. This is what we use in order to stimulate the reservoir and allow us to see or to get oil, gas, petroleum, or gas into our wellbore for production. And lastly, we have water management from pressure pumping, which allows us to do surface water treatment and subsurface water treatment. It enables us to reduce our operating expenses and improve production from new and mature wells. Water management solutions are also designed to reduce clients' total cost of operations through 100% reuse of produced and flowback water. Our next main product service line is our Reservoir Development Services Group. This is more of our consultancy arm of our company. The Reservoir Development Services Group is made up of our petroleum engineers, petroleum economists, geologists, geophysicists, geomechanics specialists, software developers, and midstream experts as well. They do all sorts of consulting from the drilling optimization to exploration and appraisal, field development, planning and operations, as well as well and completion design. They analyze fields in unconventional reservoirs as well as conventional reservoirs, carbonate reservoirs, mature field optimization, and coal bed methanes. They also use a vast number of softwares to do their formation modeling as well. So for those of you who are very interested in this kind of work, the Reservoir Development Services Group is definitely an area that you'd want to look into. Next, we have our BHI Enterprise Research Group, and this is the group that will look into our complex fluids. We have a group of engineers and scientists just dedicated to study of nanotechnology and how that can be applied in the oil fields. We have groups devoted to material science, modeling simulation, FEAs, CFDs, flow analysis. And then we also have a group that focuses on nuclear engineering, as well as ballistics, acoustics, imaging, automation, resistivity, and any thermal electrical system as well. So, and lastly, we have our supply chain product service line. Now in supply chain, we're really looking to drive innovation and new product development. Supply chain encompasses our procurement and strategic sourcing, manufacturing and operations management, logistics and distribution management, marketing and customer demand, as well as our international and global business strategy. Our focus in supply chain is the strategic integration of the supply chain to achieve breakthrough results in innovation, our cost, and customer performance. Now, being a company that operates in 80+ countries, it's easy to see how things can get bogged down, so it's important to have a robust and efficient supply chain organization that can move all the correct pieces around the company, around the world, so that our orders are met on time, equipment and all sorts of resources are delivered to the correct place at the correct times. They source for our vendors, they get us our raw materials. So it's just really important that supply chain works, because without that piece working, it'd be hard to see how every other part of the company would run as well. So just from that overview of the product service lines, you all are able to see that Baker Hughes offers a lot of different experiences, different products, and different ways for you to apply the degrees that you've gotten in university and you've gained in your university experience. Each of these areas looks towards different disciplines, which we'll go into later. But I just want you all to know that there is a place for you at Baker Hughes. If it's oil and gas related or could be oil and gas related, there's chances are that our company is heavily involved in researching for that, producing, or learning how we can incorporate that skill into our company. So real quickly, we're going to jump into the opportunities now for recent graduates and interns, both on the full-time and on the internship side. We'll talk a little bit about the positions that we have available, as well as what majors and degree levels that we're looking for each of these positions. Now, our technology career opportunities. Technology encompasses what we call GPS, which is Global Products and Services. This is where you'll see your research, design, development engineer, your scientist roles, software developer, reliability engineer, metallurgist, and reservoir engineer. As y'all can see, I've listed the degrees and degree levels that is needed in each position right now. So for the research, design, development engineer, we're looking for bachelor's and master's students in mechanical and electrical engineering. On the scientist side, we're looking for bachelor's, master's, and PhDs in mechanical engineering, electrical, and chemistry as well. Software developers, bachelor's and master's in computer science or computer engineering. Reliability engineers, that's going to be your PhDs in mechanical and electrical engineering. Metallurgists, we want a focus of a major of material science, and that's going to be your master's and PhD students. And then on the reservoir engineering side, you'll see your master's and PhD students in petroleum engineering. Now, real quick about the what it's like to be a full-time engineer in the technology group or scientist in the technology group. We have what we call our technology career development program. Now, this is a 3 to 4.5 year program that steps you through your first 3 levels or promotions within the company. It's also a very structured program that gives you the training and allows you to gain the competencies that you need in order to succeed later on in your career. So each year it's broken down into different, not just different assignments or projects, but more specifically different training classes that you're going to take. And then you have different expectations in each part of your first 3-year program. So on the first year, you're going to be working a lot closely under the supervision of your managers. This is when you're going to take a lot of your basic engineering training classes, a lot of your oil and gas or welcome to the oil and gas industry type classes. And these are designed to get you up to speed so that you're familiar with the tools that you'll be working with in your group. In your second year, you'll gain a lot more responsibility in the group. You'll be working under the supervision of your managers, but given more free reign to to better understand the work that you're doing and to grow on your own. Now, growing on your own doesn't mean that you'll be working isolated from everyone else. In fact, you'll be working with teams most of the time, but you'll be given the responsibility of maybe team lead at some point, where you'll be responsible for that project and seeing that it moves from start to completion without any hitches. And then finally, you'll go through your last year where you're knowledgeable in the group that you've been working on or working with. You've been working there for 2 to 3 years at this point, so you're effectively a team lead all the time for the project. So anytime a new project comes in, your manager trusts and believes in your ability to not only start that project but see it through to completion. You know the right resources to accomplish any kind of to fix any issue that you come into, and then you're also able to solicit the help from others, and then also help the younger engineers that are in their engineer 1 and 2 levels with their projects as well. After you're done with your first 3 promotions, you have what we call a career development review. This is where the first 3 years of your career at Baker Hughes is looked at. We look at the projects that you've worked on. We look at your contributions to the company. We look at just all the activities that you're involved in, and this is where you start making moves towards where you want to grow your career in the company. So after these 3 years of just technical growth, you've definitely shown that you can handle responsibility, that you're reliable, that you perform, and that you're able to work in these teams. The door's pretty much open for you in the company. You can continue to move up the technology career path. You can jump into a management path, or you could do something like switch into a completely different product line. So you could go from technology to operations to supply chain to marketing to HR, which is what I did. So the doors are really open for you, and it's because you've proven to us that not only are you committed to the company, but you're also competent and able to deliver on the goals that the company has for you. And next we'll go to the operations side.
Okay, so once again, my name is Josh Barenwald, and we'll discuss briefly the operations role or the field engineering development program. As you can see, this step ladder may have looked a little bit familiar from the R&D side. This actually still is a 3-year program. We do have high proficiency engineers who do finish it in a little bit less time, maybe 2.5 years, but specifically 3 years long. If you were to be hired, you would be hired into one of our product lines that Chisholm mentioned. It could be the pressure pumping, the wire line, specialty chemicals, anything like that. And you would stay within that product line for the remainder of your 3 years. Now we do have many candidates who say, you know, I would like a different opportunity, different experience. However, the main purpose of this position is a money-making role. You are going to be the first interface with our customer on the location. So we want you to be very technically competent when you're speaking to our customers. What we're specifically looking for is a BS or MS in any type of engineering role, chemistry, physics, or engineering technology. And you could be placed in one of our many product lines. Within the first year, we don't expect you to be an expert in the field or even the industry. It's been calculated in the first year alone per employee that we hire into this program. It's about $100,000 in training program alone for the first year. So you can see that investment our company has towards our individuals is very high because we want you to be very technically competent when you're out on location. In year 2, you're given more responsibility out on the rig location. You could be leading jobs by yourself, running these jobs on your own, because ultimately you will be the first interface for our customer. Year 3, you are given a project and work primarily out on the location. You will see the black marks, and I'm not sure if you can read it, but the first 2 years it says field review, and the last one says region review. In the first year and the second year, in order to progress to the second level and third level, you have to have completed training classes, showing that you're technically competent in training or in technical tools. In the third year, you're actually given a presentation or a project that you're supposed to complete within 1 year. And after that, you're giving this presentation in front of vice presidents of the organization, directors of the organization, to show what you've learned within those 3 years. It's seen as a job interview for that future career, and you will see the door basically opens. As Chisholm mentioned, there are other opportunities to go into research and development. We have a lot of individuals who have been out on the rig location and seen those tools run physically that want to go into the research side. Technical training, HR even, sales, marketing roles as well. What we're really looking for within this position are individuals who want hands-on experience. I do want to preface this with saying that this position, the field engineering program, may not be for everybody. It may force you to work the longer working hours, the harsher working conditions, but this is a very good step, or your first step in a career, to get that ground framework.
And now on to supply chain.
So as you can see from the slide, we have a variety of roles within our supply chain organization. 1 in 10 employees at Baker Hughes is part of our supply chain. We have the 7th largest trucking fleet in the United States. So on the business side, we have buyer roles, logistics analyst roles, strategic sourcing roles, as well as planner roles. These roles, we're looking for a bachelor's or master's in supply chain management, industrial distribution, or potentially industrial engineering. On the engineering side, we actually have roles in quality engineering, process engineering, manufacturing engineering, and our assembly, maintenance, and overhaul group as well. And for those roles, we're looking for people with bachelor's or master's in mechanical engineering or industrial engineering. The last position I'll mention will be the supply chain rotational program. Supply chain rotational program is a 3-year program. We'll rotate through on year 1 a buyer role and a finance role in 6-month rotations. In year 2, you'll rotate through a manufacturing engineering role and a cell leader role, where you'll be responsible for a team of 8 to 10 individuals. Then year 3 will be a year-long project. As part of this program, it is mandatory that you'd have a 6-month rotation overseas. For those of you that would start in the United States, you'd be offered a position in either Aberdeen, Dubai, Kuala Lumpur, Celle, Germany, Brazil, or China. And for those of you that start in the Eastern Hemisphere, your international rotation will most likely be in the United States. Once you complete the 3-year program, the supply chain rotational program, you'll be offered a leadership opportunity. Another nickname for this program is the 3-year fast track. The positions or the majors we're looking for this position are supply chain management, industrial engineering, mechanical engineering, those with an MBA, and definitely a master's focus. For the corporate and IT positions, we're looking for those that will go into accounting roles and EFO accounting specifically. So these would be accounting majors. We're also looking for those who will go into financial planning analysis roles. So we're looking for accounting in both finance majors for this role. We're looking for those who will go into health, safety, and environment roles. So we're looking for those with majors in industrial hygiene, as well as some in environmental sciences. Baker Hughes is very proud to be the only company on Newsweek's Top 100, only oil and gas company on Newsweek's Top 100 green companies, something we're very proud about. As well as we also have human resources positions. We're looking for those with human resource majors, as well as masters in industrial and organizational psychology. We're looking for some marketing majors, and as well as we're just rolling out our brand new information technology rotational program. This program is a 27-month program with 3 9-month rotations, a variety of different IT functions, and we are looking for those with MIS majors and computer science majors.
So now that does it for our full-time opportunities, but we don't want to leave our interns out. For those of you looking for internships, we provide internships on the operations side, which is going to be your field engineering side. We provide technology internships. So like I said, that's the R&D, software, reliability, metallurgist roles. And then we also offer supply chain internships and corporate and IT internships as well.
So before we go on to the next slide, I just want to talk about the program overall. It is a summer internship opportunity. At this time, we do not do a co-op program, so while you're going to university. It is an 11-week summer program. It is paid, so that's a very good thing for y'all. Overall, what we try to do, we hire several hundred interns for many of our business functions, as we'll talk about in a little bit. But we do have different activities, different events throughout the summer that we try to provide to our interns. Along with your work, which is obviously very important to the company, we also want you to have a little bit of fun and learn a little bit as well. We have what's called Technical Forums, which is a weekly event, technical talk, where we bring in one of our business segments. It could be the operations side, it could be products and technology, but we want you to gain a broad aspect or a broad overview of the company overall. So when you are looking for a full-time opportunity, you're better able to see where you can fit within the organization. Also, we do have specific intern events. Our intern welcome event, we try to bring in all of our interns in Houston and give you an overview of why you're important to the company, what you're going to be working on really matters to the company. We have an intern baseball game for those of you who will be in Houston or could be in Houston. This past year, which was really successful, we had our intern community service event. That's something that we will absolutely continue. And we understand that candidates nowadays want to see not only a good opportunity for growth career-wise, but also what the organization is doing to give back to our community. We do have an end-of-summer event and also end-of-summer presentations, in which you would be required to give a technical presentation on what you learned during the summer, how you feel or what you feel added value to the company, and this is often done in front of our leadership of the company. Intern conversion, after all, is the whole reason why we do the internship program. We want to be able to convert our interns into full-time positions, so you would potentially go into one of the full-time roles that we spoke about. The intern programs are going to mimic or resemble the full-time opportunities that we currently have available. So if you are an operations intern or a field engineer intern, be looking for a lot of hands-on experience. While we cannot technically get you out on the rig location to be working hands-on with the tools due to the numerous safety requirements out on the rig location, you would be working in the shops, project related to assembly, tool functionality, and process improvement. Given an informal mentor along with your manager, working with those direct product line mentors and managers. Our product lines, like we mentioned, are down below: wireline, specialty chemicals, drilling fluids, and so forth. And our locations truly are nationwide. Each summer we have interns in the Gulf of Mexico, which would incorporate the Louisiana positions or U.S. land. We've had interns all the way from Alaska to Pennsylvania to the Rockies to California.
Now, what to expect as a GPS intern. So like I said earlier, GPS is global products and services, and that incorporates our technology roles as well. So on the GPS side, our interns are going to be working directly in a laboratory/office setting. So unlike the operations, you won't be at the district locations, you won't be looking at the rigs, but you'll be at the offices where the R&D takes place, where the chemicals are developed, where the research, design, and process improvement takes place. As an intern, you are given projects which mimic what you would be doing as a full-time engineer. So we give you projects so that you can demonstrate to us that you can do the work that a full-time engineer does, and this is our best way to assess you as an intern and see if you are ready for a full-time job with our company. Most of our R&D is going to take place in the realm of mechanical and electrical downhole tools. You'll also get to do some service enhancement related to reliability, sustainability, and process improvement as well. Now each project differs from product line and product group, but the overall goal is to give you a project where you'll be working with your direct manager and with a team of other people under that manager. You also have an independent project of your own that you'll present to the other interns and managers at the end of your internship. And you'll also, like Josh said, you'll be able to do a lot of the fun activities. You'll get to see the tech forums and just all those areas that will allow you to just understand what Baker Hughes does on a greater level, and not just see what you do within your group. Locations for our U.S. internships are going to be in Houston and Claremore, Oklahoma.
So for our supply chain organization, our interns will have exposure to our Lean Six Sigma principles, as well as other supply chain events like Kaizen events. Work directly with the supply chain leadership on your project. There'll be opportunities in our sales and operation planning groups, logistics, procurement, materials, AMO, quality engineering, as well as manufacturing engineering. We'll have locations available in Texas and throughout Oklahoma. For our corporate and IT internships, we'll have internship opportunities in our accounting groups, our FP&A groups, our HSC groups, HR, and IT. And these locations would be in Houston and then the Dallas area.
So next steps. So after hearing about all of our full-time and internship opportunities, I'm sure you all are wondering, how do we apply for these? You know, what requirements are needed in order to be considered for these positions? First of all, our prerequisites are you need to have a minimum of a 3.0 out of a 4.0 GPA. And then for our U.S. positions, you also need work authorization for the U.S. with the exception of PhDs, which we can sponsor at the moment. That 3.0 GPA is cumulative. We definitely offer positions and opportunities outside of the U.S. as well. The GPA requirement still stays the same, but that requirement, obviously there's different GPA scales in other parts of the world, so we just have to scale up. And secondly, you have to apply online. So you see our website listed there, www.bakerhughes.com/graduate. Make sure that if you are interested in any of the opportunities that we've talked about today, that you do go to this website, you create a profile, you attach your most recent resume to that profile, and that you do apply for a position. You can apply for as many positions as you want or as you feel that, that your skills will enable you to do a good job in, but ultimately just know that you'll only be selected for one position. On the internship side, we have a requisition called engineering internship, which actually encompasses the technology, the GPS, and the operations internship as well. So you won't see a specific R&D internship or operations field engineer internship, but don't worry, just apply for engineering internship and you'll be considered for either one. And like I said, we have global opportunities, but if you go to bakerhughes.com/graduate, you can actually click on the world map and see the different parts of the world and the opportunities that we have in each location. So for those of you that are listening in from around the world, you're not being left out. Just make sure you click on those to see the opportunities that you have available as well. So let me just conclude with why Baker Hughes. So we've talked to you today for quite a period of time now about, you know, our industry, the history of our company, the opportunities that we have, but what is it really that separates us from our competitors and from other companies in the oil and gas industry? Number one, I'd like to say that we are an industry leader. A lot of our products and services that we provide are labeled best in class, which means that we're literally number one or number two around the world in each of these different areas. Companies use us for our services and our products because they know that we deliver high quality. We're all about safety with our tools, so our tools are going to be safe. And ultimately, we just have a reputation of being the guys who get the job done in a safe, reliable way, and the industry is well aware of that. We were a company that was founded on technology, excellence, and innovation, and we definitely are still continuing that today. Each of our product groups encourage our engineers to get design patents, to continue to go back to school and learn about the industry that they find themselves working in. And this is all so that you can continue to innovate and have the skills and tools needed in order to continue performing well within the company and also leave a lasting legacy and footprint within the company as well. We offer extensive training opportunities as well as learning opportunities. Obviously, learning is one of our core values, and as you come into the company, you're always going to be learning. Every single day something new whether it's a project that you've seen every day for a month and you're tired of looking at it, the next day you're going to learn something new about that project, and that's something that's invaluable, that you won't get bored in this company. If you got bored, or if you get bored, you can just move into another product service line or try to cross-train with another group so that you can start working on their projects while you're doing your projects as well. We're a very people-focused company. We pride ourselves on saying that our people come first, and we're firm believers of the fact that if our people aren't happy, then our company performance our company won't perform the way that it needs to. So we definitely want our people to be happy. We want you to know that you can drive your career the way you want it. We're very flexible in how we move people around. So if you do want to move, there are opportunities available for you to move. And then it's a very open door policy here. So people you can walk into anyone's office, talk to them, ask questions. It's very relaxed, and the environment just enables that kind of collaboration and innovation spirit that will continue to keep Baker Hughes as an employer of choice. So at this time, I'm going to open the floor to all of our Q&A. So if you all have any questions at this time, please feel free to send your questions in or to type them up at this moment. We'll give a few minutes for y'all to type your questions. All right, so one of our questions says, on what locations worldwide do you need people? Different kinds of engineers on different locations. So I'll have Josh answer that question, since that one kind of caters more to the operations side, and then I'll give the technology, what operations and locations we have in technology as well.
So on the operations side, bear in mind for the U.S.-based positions, we hire several hundred field engineers per year for the operations positions. Worldwide, it's only going to be the same. So I'm not exactly familiar with their exact hiring numbers, but I do know the field engineers are the positions that we hire a lot of because they are among money makers for our organization. They're going to be the first ones out on the rig site, so the numbers are very large there.
Okay. And then on the technology side, Houston is our global headquarters, right? But we have R&D opportunities in Germany, R&D opportunities in Singapore and Malaysia. We do work out of Dubai as well, and then we have offices in Africa as well as South America as well. So we really are spread across the globe, but for our main technology hubs are going to be in Houston and Dubai. We have another question that says, I didn't visit the Baker Hughes booth at the career fair. Is there any way I can send you my resume so that I can be considered for employment? The best way for you to be considered for employment is going to be to go to our website. When you go to our website, you'll drop your resume for us, and we're actually now actively screening through those requisitions, looking for candidates to interview, both via phone and on-site. So for those of you who haven't applied for a position, I encourage you to do that as soon as possible so that you can be considered for an interview. What sort of timetable are you looking at for hiring full-time positions? Right now, we're currently hiring for 2014. So we're looking for individuals who are graduating or who graduated in August of this year, and all the way to May of next year. Our hiring is year-round, so you can still be considered. If you got picked up right now for a position, you would start ideally January 1st if you graduate already. But if you graduate in May, then your start date could be in June, July, or August, depending on when you set it. But we are looking to hire for 2014 at this moment. Do you provide housing for interns?
I'll answer. I see a few questions on here about internships. So the first question is, do you provide intern housing or housing for interns? Yes, we do. There's a housing allowance for specifically the U.S. that we do provide. How long would the internship be? It's an 11-week program within the summer. It would typically start a week after you finish school, and then end approximately a week or week and a half prior to going back to school. Around what time would the hiring process for internships be completed? So what we're doing right now, or what we have done, we're just about to finish our on-campus recruiting for our internship positions. If you did not meet us on campus, that's perfectly fine. What we will be doing here in the coming month or two is sourcing for those internships through what we call our interview stream process. We hire 4 internship positions all the way up until March of next year for that following summer. For our internship position, I see a question on there in regards to what degree levels and what years. At this time, we are only considering sophomores and juniors for our internship positions. They are bachelor's, master's, and PhD levels that we're looking for.
Let's see. Does it matter which university you graduated from? No, it does not. We're looking for the best and brightest from all over. So if we don't actively recruit at your school, that should not discourage you from applying on our website. Let's see. Do you sponsor H-1Bs for international students? At this time for the U.S., we're only sponsoring PhD students. If you have a bachelor's or master's student or master's degree, I would encourage you to still apply. But at this time, we can only reach out to those PhDs for interviews. But if our sponsorship situation changes, then we'll be able to reach out to the bachelor's and master's students that do require sponsorship. Let's see.
Somebody asked about the opportunities for FP&A. The opportunities for FP&A would be in Houston and then in Dallas, the 2 locations for FP&A.
There's so many questions coming through. I'm glad you guys were paying attention throughout. This is great. Will the internship be paid? Yes. What are the chances that females get hired on as field engineers?
That's a very good question. We do have our targeting goals, obviously, for the year. I've been around a lot of hiring events, and it's not something at all that we go against or for. It's the best and the brightest and the most qualified go for the job.
All right, let's see. How many rounds of interviews for an internship position?
The internship position, so we no longer do on-campus or on-site interviews for internship positions. We save that strictly for our full-time positions. It is an electronic interview process, sort of like a Skype-style interview, and there is that 1 round of interviewing.
Now let's see. There's a question about, is it essential to have the legal right to work in the country in which we apply? Yes, for internships, work authorization isn't an issue, but bear in mind the goal of our internships is to convert our interns to full-time positions. So if you don't have work authorization for the country that you intern in, there's a chance that you would not be granted a full-time position within that country just because we won't be able to sponsor you at that time. But a lot of our groups, like I said, since we're a global company, we have offices all around the world. So if you're not opposed to working full-time in your home country or country where you do have work authorization for a year or 2 before being moved back to the U.S. on a work visa, that's definitely an option that we can explore with you at that time.
One question, it says, I am a PhD student at UM. I have made my online account and uploaded my resume and also talked to Baker Hughes recruiters at the career fair. Do I still need to apply for a specific job online? The answer to that is absolutely yes. It is a very good thing that you saw us on campus. However, in order for us to consider you through the recruiting process, you must go online and apply for a position. Also, I do realize you all may have university-specific job postings at your school that we've posted. That is okay if you do apply for those, but ultimately we need to see your application online at the bakerhughes.com/graduate website.
So there was a question about project management for supply chain. Let's see. This individual has a master's in supply chain. They'd like to work in the oil and gas sector, specifically in supply chain. Is there an opportunity for project management, or do you have to be a former field engineer? For the supply chain rotational program, there would be some opportunities for project management. There's also opportunities for project management in a variety of fields, not just supply chain. So I encourage you to definitely look at opportunities.
Okay. Are you taking master students for internships next summer? Yes. How many interns are you looking to hire this coming summer?
While we can't give you the specific number for the U.S.-based positions, it is several hundred. So we can't provide the exact number, but there is a lot of opportunities for you. One more, do you take civil engineering students for your intern positions? Yes, we do, especially on the operations side. Understand, though, that it's not on the structural side, so these rigs are already developed when we're there. It won't be on the water management, so you will be specifically working on engineering background.
On the question of do you recruit students of all ages, Baker Hughes is an equal employment opportunity company, so we do not discriminate based on age, sex, gender, religion, or any of the above.
All right. Let's see. Is Baker Hughes hiring chemical engineers for R&D internships? Yes, we are. Our chemical engineers will typically either work in operations, or Baker also has a large upstream and downstream chemicals group, and that's where chemical engineering and chemistry interns could fit in as well. On the R&D side, we're looking for bachelor's, master's, and PhDs, and then on the field operations side, we're looking for primarily bachelor's, but we'll also take master's degrees as well.
Next question, do you take electrical engineering students for internships? Absolutely, yes. On our research and development side, we're looking at the new product development of our mechanical and electrical tools that we're sending downhole. So wireline is a good one for electronic tools. Drilling systems as well, and also in the field.
Regarding the types of tests we have for different positions, so the second round of interview for each of the different roles, that being supply chain, operations, GPS technology, would have a variety of different assessments at the second round interview stage. We can't really talk about which those assessments would be, but believe me, you would be assessed for the specific role that you'd be in.
Okay. And let's see. Can a not yet graduated student take an internship? Yes. Like I said, we're taking sophomores and junior level students at the undergraduate level as well. You could have an internship in the R&D group even without a complete bachelor's degree, but you must be working towards completing your degree.
Regarding a master's in finance for supply chain positions, somebody with a master's in finance could apply for the supply chain rotational program, but the other opportunities, once again, we do have some opportunities in FP&A as well as EFO accounting, so I'd encourage you to apply for those positions as well. Regarding somebody with a diploma in IT, right now we're only looking for those that have a bachelor's or a master's degree in MIS or computer science for our IT positions.
And
Are there going to be future meetings like this?
And yes, are there going to be future meetings like this? I would certainly hope so. I think we've been able to reach a large number of students using a medium that all of you are very comfortable with. You're just in front of your computer. For those of you who registered because you were unable to see us on campus, I hope this has proved to be very informative for you all. And for those of you who we didn't go to your campus, but you learned about this info session through word of mouth or through social media, I definitely want to thank you all for taking the time to be here, and I do hope that you've learned a lot about our company and the opportunities that we're able to provide. Like I said from the very beginning, we want you to see how to become a part of the bigger picture, and that bigger picture is where do you fit into Baker Hughes. So all the opportunities that we've discussed on the operations side, the technology side, supply chain, research, and all that, is just to give you just a little preview of where you could fit into our company. If you're interested, please go to our website, look at all the different product lines that we have on there. We have significant amounts of information that's public for everyone to read up. You can see what specific innovations are taking place, what specific groups are working on, and that can also help kind of guide you in a direction where you can figure out where you fit into the company and what positions to apply for. How much time do we have left? All right, we have about 2 minutes left, so I'm going to go ahead and close off the Q&A. I think we've run through a good number of the questions that were asked, but I'd like to thank all of you for joining into this virtual information session. We certainly hope that we'll be able to do more of these in the future. If you enjoyed it, please tell your friends about it. We'll be sure to, again, post this online for you all to see, and I think that we'll also be getting this video so we can upload it to YouTube or any kind of social media, so that if you have any other questions or if you want to look over the slide deck or anything that we've talked about, you can also, you'll have access to that as well. So once again, thank you all for taking time to participate on this call. Definitely appreciate having all of you all here listening to us. If you have any other questions, you can type them out, and at the end of this session, we'll actually receive all the questions via email. So we'll be able to see what questions you all asked and can respond to those questions directly. So thank you all, and I hope you all have a great day, evening, night, morning, depending on what location around the world that you are located.